Temple has moved on from Stan Drayton, and it's time to take a look at the top replacements for their head coaching opening. And it's a list of really good potential candidates and maybe some familiar faces that could help turn Temple around. Brendan Marion quickly is becoming my go-to guy on these lists. I think he'll be on a lot of lists because of how well he's been coaching at UNLV. This is a guy who knows how to coach offense, something that Temple at times has struggled mightily in. They need someone that's going to be able to turn that around. They also need a guy who knows how to recruit. Now, Brennan Marion doesn't have ties to the Northeast, but he is someone that is a proven recruiter who knows how to get talent to wherever he is. And I think that he can do that wherever he goes. He's one of those guys that he's very personable. He knows how to talk to people. He knows how to get recruits interested in his program wherever he's been, whether that's at Texas, UNLV. He can do the same thing at Temple, even if he doesn't have the ties there. Mike Denbrock is someone who is pretty much just waiting for the right position to open, but I think that Temple would be a good opportunity for him. He doesn't have the head coaching experience, and he has done a lot of really good things for LSU, Cincinnati, Notre Dame. He has had plenty of opportunities to showcase what he can do as a coordinator, and he has thrived at every single one of them. The next step is head coach, and he has the resume that would impress people. I just don't know if Temple is going to go down that route of picking a first time head coach. Are they going to do that again like they did with Stan Drayton? They've had success obviously in the past, but is Denbrock going to be that next guy to follow him up? Next is a familiar face. Al Golden could return to Temple if Temple is looking to get back on track and they want someone who had proven success with this team. There are multiple candidates still coaching that could do that. Al Golden is one of them. A Steve Adazio could fit in that category too, but I think Steve's at 65 years old. I don't know if he's looking to get back into coaching. Al Golden at 55 still has obviously what it takes. He's doing a really good job at Notre Dame. He has done obviously a good job at multiple other places. If Temple wanted to have a proven track record come back, then maybe he is the guy. Obviously, college football is changing, but maybe Al Golden could bring some stability back to this program. Another name that could be in the running is Jeff Collins. Now, Jeff's defense hasn't been the greatest at North Carolina, but he had proven success at Temple, even while it was short. Now, Jeff Collins is one of those guys that coaches different than, this current age, the new era of college football, but he is someone that has proven that he can get success at different stops. Maybe Temple wants to go back to him. He's probably the only other candidate that they would probably consider besides Golden. If Dazio's interested, maybe, but again, these are guys that have had success at this program, and it's just a matter of do they want to go back, dip into that well again, or do they want to find someone new that can bring a fresh perspective to this team. Now, this list is interesting because there's a lot of different options that maybe aren't your traditional candidates that you would maybe would expect. So a guy like Jason Candle is definitely going to be on people's list. Now, Toledo is not having the season that maybe you thought it was going to, and I think at a certain point, Jason Candle is going to run out his welcome. He is going to get pushed out one way or another, whether that's him taking a new job or Toledo just gets kind of tired of waiting for him to consistently win the MAC. And right now, I think that his value to other programs is as high as it's going to be. I think that eventually that's going to die out a little bit. So if he wants to take a leap, now is the time to do it. I think that he still has plenty of good qualities that Temple would like. It's just I think that the narrative portion of it at Toledo is probably going to run its course eventually. I really like Jason Cannell and what he can do. I'm not sure if Temple will want to take a leap for him. He definitely has the winning track record with the Rockets, and Temple is looking to win football games. That is something that they need to consider. Do they want to get back on track to winning this conference? This is a conference that is significantly worse than it was when Matt Rule was bringing this team to the conference championship and winning this conference. This is a conference Temple that should be competitive in. They should be able to win this conference or at least compete with the best teams in this conference, and they need to find the right guy that can do it. Randall has proven that he can take a program and continue to win. I'd be interested to see if he can do the same thing with Temple. This time, he would have to do a little bit more of a rebuild and not just continued success. But Jason Candle's proven that he can win as a head coach. And Temple is looking for someone that can do that. Next is going to be Jeff Nixon for Syracuse. The offense coordinator has done a really good job for Fran Brown and that Syracuse Orange offense. They've been really exciting. He is someone who has multiple stops at the NFL level as well as college, a proven offensive mind that could get Temple back to where they need to be. Maybe bring them back to the PJ Walker days, the days where they were putting together some really exciting type of offenses and type of performances. He is someone that definitely is going to be in the running for head coaching positions, head coach openings, and it's just a matter of does Temple want to bring him in and give him that chance. Corey Heatherman has ties to the Northeast. He is the defensive coordinator for the Minnesota Golden Gophers right now, doing a really good job of getting that group to play really hard. And he is a former Maine head coach that has had success in the Northeast. He is someone who knows that area. He knows how to get players to come to that school. If you can recruit in Maine, you're probably going to do a pretty good job at Temple. Now, there are obviously some challenges at Temple, the stadium off campus. There's lots of different things that you have to weather. So, someone has to be familiar with how to do that or have a unique approach on how to navigate that adversity. Heatherman has the experience, and the next few guys we'll talk about know what it takes to win in that area of the U.S. He is someone who is a good defensive mind, something that Temple has struggled with over the last handful of years. He would bring them back in that category, but he also knows how to run a program in that area of the country. Mark Ferrante is someone who's had success with Villanova over the last handful of years. They've been successful and they've been an FCS team that kind of flies under the radar. And again, you're talking about a program that needs to understand how to win in this area. Villanova also for a long time has been a basketball school. So people haven't really paid attention to their football team, but they have been right there with some of the better teams in this in the country at the FCS level. And he deserves at least, a phone call to me and at least see what his interest would be, what his approach would be to fixing Temple and how he would do that. Ryan Carty is another name of the Northeast coaches that you want to keep an eye on. The Delaware head coach has had success in the last couple of years. And again, another guy who knows what he's doing in that area of the country, finding guys to play school like Delaware, which is kind of one of those under the radar FCS teams in terms of nobody really knows who they are. The program isn't maybe the most attractive to some of these recruits that you're getting, which Temple's kind of in that category. But now you give him a team that's in a better conference at the FBS level and has a little bit more access to talent in the Philadelphia area, the Pennsylvania area, and a guy like Ryan Carty who has done more with less can do the exact same thing, just increase the talent level and then still find ways to win football games. And then the final one is going to be Ricky Santos, the New Hampshire head coach. Again, another guy who understands how to get underrated talent to perform at a high level. The FCS side of things has been really interesting in the Northeast over the last handful of years, and these last four candidates are big reasons why. They have done a really good job of finding ways to win football games with under evaluated talent. They find some gems, obviously, and they've, found ways to win football games. They're successful head coaches, and they're definitely going to be who Temple considers. Temple is looking for someone who either understands the area and how to win in that area or a unique approach, maybe a larger personality. We've seen them make good hires in the past. This is not a Temple program that doesn't know what it's doing right now or as of late. The Stan Drayton hire, the Rod Carey hire, those obviously didn't work out, but you have plenty of options to get back on the right track and find ways to win football games, which is something you haven't been doing for a little while and something you were looking to get back on track in a conference where it's very possible for Temple to do that. I'm curious to see who they interview, who they hire, and how that person ends up doing in the long run.